He co-created Horrible Histories as well as the BBC sitcom Ghosts, and his name is Mathew Baynton. Hello, hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good. You
Lovely
should be
crisp
very
morning.
well. You should be very well because, wow, what a busy man. So many things to talk about. Let's start with the big movie, shall we? Wonka. Tell us who you play in Wonka.
So I play a character called Fickelgruber, who is mentioned in Roald Dahl's original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I always get that mixed up because the Gene Wilder film is different to the book.
Yes. Yeah.
And he is a rival chocolatier. So in this film, which is a kind of origin story of Willy Wonka, in which Timothy Chalamet plays the young Willy Wonka, he comes to town with a dream of making chocolate and encounters three chocolatiers, Slugworth, Fickelgruber, and Prodnose, who are determined that he's not gonna sell chocolate on their patch.
And what's interesting is because often when a Hollywood movie happens in Britain, they're filming it in Britain and they cast some English actors, they're in it, but they're not really in it. You guys, yourself and Matt Lucas and Patterson Joseph, I mean, you're the main baddies in this thing.
Yeah, there's a whole load of brilliant sort of UK talent in it, not least Olivia Colman, who's done well for herself, but started out in things like Peep Show, UK sitcoms, and Tom Davis is in it too, who's absolutely brilliant and steals the show. Frankly, there's loads of brilliant sort of UK comics in there, but it's Paul King who directed it, and his background is he did the Paddington films, but before that he directed things like The Mighty Boosh. So he's really rooted in UK comedy too. So,
and watching it, the scale of it is enormous. I mean, is that trickery, visual trickery, or were you acting on enormous sets?
It genuinely was an enormous set in Leavesden, in Warner Brothers studio in Leavesden. They built this enormous kind of city centre. Obviously, if you walk behind the walls, it's just a big flat. But but it was extraordinary.
Don't do that.
And without spoiling anything, there is a bit in the film where Patterson and Matt and I had to dangle sort of 60 feet in the air above this set, and it certainly looks spectacular from that angle.
And I believe the idea is that this will continue. There'll be more Wonka in the world.
I guess if it does well, hopefully.
Oh, it's so going to do well. I mean, you've seen it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous film. It's funny. It's it's everything you want, isn't it?
It really is. I think it's a feat, and I'm in awe of Paul King and Simon Farnaby, his co-writer, to usher something through with such an enormous kind of scale and budget and still have a sense of real heart. I think the more money is being thrown at something, the harder it is to preserve that kind of soul, I think. And to anyone who's loved the Paddington films, Wonka has that heart, and it's astonishing. And it's just full of amazing set pieces and sequences and beautiful songs by Neil Hannon, and it's great,
and big laughs provided by you. Well done, because it's hard to get jokes away, like in a big movie like this, and you do. So well done.
Thank you so much.
What's it like for you? Because as I say, you are a writer, you are a creator of things, big successful things. Is it nice to kind of let go and kind of go, well, someone else can worry about that, or does it frustrate you? Oh, it's just nice. Okay.
It is. So Simon, who co-wrote this film, is also one of the co-creators of my show Ghosts, which is finishing with a final sort of special this Christmas. And I was filming both kind of at the same time, And on the set of Ghosts, regardless of how sort of stupid I might look in my costume, I'm still in between takes. I'm always kind of behind the monitor looking at things and worrying about, oh, is this, do I need to rewrite this? Could it be better? Is this the right way to be shooting this to get the best out of it? And I'm in a constant state of sort of low level anxiety. And then I would go over to Wonka and it was someone else's problem, and all I had to do was wear my costume and remember a few words and be silly. It was fantastic. It's like a holiday.
And presumably eat quite a lot of chocolate. I bet there was a lot of chocolate knocking around.
Yes. I mean, there was a chocolate department on that movie. And I'm not sure that's going to happen to me many more times in my career. But what a heavenly thing. And they were making these exquisite chocolates, which we got to eat again and again and again, sort of ruining takes just so we could have another one.
I mean, and was it properly delicious, or were you just kind of going, oh, sugar?
Genuinely delicious. I mean, to the point where, there's a scene where we taste his chocolate and we're trying to pretend that we don't think it's incredible. And the actual chocolates we were eating genuinely were incredible. So that reduced the amount of acting we had to do.
It's going to be in cinemas from next Friday, and that is such a Christmas treat. And then on TV, Ghosts Christmas Special. Now, last year's got, I think, 6 million. It was the biggest comedy of the year, which begs the question, Matthew, why quit the hit? What happened?
Oh, we just love it so much. We wanted to stop before it started getting worse.
Before you didn't love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, 5 series we've done and 4 Christmas specials, and not many shows kind of go for that long. So I take it as a huge compliment that anyone is even questioning why we would finish it. But yeah, we wanted to end it at a point where people said, oh no, that's finishing, rather than, oh, I didn't realize that was still on.
But there's an American version as well, isn't there?
There is, yes, and that's doing incredibly well. I think that's the most sort of watched comedy in the States. And obviously they do so many episodes. They do 24 per series, so they only started it after we'd done 3 series, but had sort of immediately in one go eclipsed all of the hours of television that we'd made.
And it's such a lovely idea for Christmas episode, because obviously this is the baby returning to the house.
Yes, it's the whole of the series up to this point has been sort of charting the pregnancy and the so yeah, the arrival of the baby is a very kind of special thing, and felt lovely to do for a Christmas episode. But it's also the last ever episode, so there's an emotional roller coaster to go on for sure.
And is one of the reasons you've stopped because it must be so exhausting having to film every scene with ghosts and without ghosts?
No, it's not. I mean, well, not for me, because the without ghosts bit is a breeze. I play one of the ghosts, if you don't know. And genuinely, I think we're all going to miss it, and we always filmed it in sort of January, February, the grimmest months of winter, when Christmas is behind you and there doesn't seem to be anything to look forward to. We would always decamp to this amazing house, West Horsley Place, where we film, and spend our winter months together making each other laugh. And we're going to miss that terribly this year. But no, we just wanted to move on to pastures new and challenge ourselves with something else, and leave behind something that hopefully stayed at the high standard it started.
I'm talking to Lolly out of Hope. It sounds like she won't miss the cold, because even watching this Christmas special, when the baby arrives back, I did worry for it because it just looks freezing.
Do you know what? The first series, they didn't have any heating in the house at all. And you could see our breath in the air in every single scene. And we had to decide very early on that ghosts breathe and you can see their breath, because otherwise we'd have had an enormous problem. But thankfully, they do have heating in the house now. But when we go outside, I always spare a thought in particular for Simon, who we wrote his character really initially just as a joke, which is that ghosts stay how they die, and wouldn't it be funny if one of them was an MP who died having an affair and has no trousers on? So he has to spend an awful lot of time in the winter with no trousers on.
And very quickly before we go, I must just tell people you are also in the BBC Agatha Christie Christmas treat. Murder is Easy, and that's on over Christmas as well. Am I right?
Yeah, thank you for
Hey.
thank you for all the plugs.
Listen, you are a one-man Radio Times. well done, sir. I think you've earned your rest. Go have a lie down. Thank you very much for talking to us, Matthew Baynton.
It's been
Lovely
a
to talk
pleasure.
to you.
Thank you, Graham.
All right. Cheers. Wonka's in cinemas from Friday, and Ghosts and Murder is Easy will both be on the BBC over Christmas.